The crystal wine glasses clinked with practiced precision around our family's mahogany dining table, a sound I'd grown to hate. Like everything else in this house, it was performative, a symphony of wealth masquerading as warmth. I'm Vienna, and this was supposed to be just another Thursday night dinner. But I had a nuclear weapon in my purse, and for once I wasn't going to stay quiet. To Derek's newest venture, my father raised his glass, his steel-grey eyes gleaming. $2 million in seed funding from Sanderson Corp. The future of our family legacy is bright. My brother's perfect white teeth flashed as he nodded. His fiancée Daisy squeezed his arm, radiating smugness. What about Vienna's art studio plans? My mother asked softly, breaking script for once. Surely there's room in the budget for... Art doesn't build empires, my father cut her off. Vienna's a dreamer, not a doer. Always has been. My hand trembled as I reached into my purse. Funny you should say that, Dad. I pulled out the business card and slid it across the table. Graham Bradley doesn't seem to think so. He's investing in my studio, $500,000. The silence was deafening. Derek's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. Daisy's smile froze. My mother knocked over her wine glass, red liquid spreading across the white tablecloth like blood. My father's face turned purple. You went to Bradley? His whisper was deadly quiet. You have no idea what you've done, girl. I stood up, shoulders back. Actually, I do. I'm done being the family disappointment. As I walked out, my phone buzzed. A text from Graham. Let's talk terms, now. Maybe I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life. Or maybe I'd finally started living it. 2 weeks ago, I would have walked past Graham Bradley's steel and glass office building without a second glance. Now I was riding the elevator to the top floor, my heart thundering against my ribs. You're playing a dangerous game, my roommate Kendra had warned that morning. Graham Bradley doesn't invest in art studios out of the kindness of his heart. I knew she was right. The memory of meeting Graham at Daisy's gallery event was still fresh. How his eyes had lit up when I mentioned my last name. His office was minimalist, all white surfaces and sharp angles. Graham sat behind a desk that could have paid my rent for a year. $250,000, he said without preamble. Exclusive showcase rights and a silent stake in your brand. That's half what you promised, he smiled, thin and sharp. The other half comes when you prove this isn't just daddy issues with a paintbrush. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Derek. We need to talk, his text read. Lunch. Today. An hour later, I sat across from my brother at our usual cafe. His perfect facade had cracks I'd never seen before. You don't know what you're getting into, Derek leaned forward. Dad will bury any threat to the family name. And Graham? He's worse. Threats? I laughed. Is that what I am now? Vienna, please. Just... My phone chimed with an email notification. My hands went cold as I read it. What? Derek asked. Dad's lawyers. My voice shook. They're contesting my use of our last name for the studio. Says it's trademark infringement. Derek's face fell. It's starting. God help you, sis. It's starting. The gallery hummed with conversation and clinking glasses. My first networking event as a real artist, and the room was packed. Pablo, the curator, had given me his best space, all gleaming hardwood and perfect lighting. Your work is drawing serious attention. Pablo squeezed my arm. The series on family dynamics? Raw. Honest. Before I could respond, my mother appeared like a ghost in Chanel. I knew about the war chest, she whispered, eyes darting. Your father. I couldn't stop him. You never tried, I hissed back. 29 years of never trying. She flinched. Vienna. Vienna! A familiar voice cut through the crowd. My stomach dropped. Makey, my ex, striding over in an expensive suit. Quite the event. What are you doing here? PR firm. He gestured vaguely. Your father's company is a client, or maybe it's your brother's. Hard to keep track these days. I turned away, but his next words froze me. Interesting investor deck you've got circulating. Very detailed. My phone exploded with notifications. Someone had leaked my private pitches online. Financial projections, strategy documents, everything. Did you do this? I grabbed Mickey's arm. Hey, I just read it like everyone else. He smiled. Though I wonder what Graham Bradley thinks about his investment strategies being public. As if summoned, my phone rang. Graham's assistant, panic in her voice. The investor deck, did you leak it? Mr. Bradley's pulling funding if this goes public. I watched my carefully constructed revenge crumble in real time. Across the room, Pablo was already fielding calls, his face grim. The art on the walls, my soul laid bare in paint and canvas, suddenly felt like a target. I'd wanted attention. Now I had it, all the wrong kinds. Daisy had dinner with Graham 3 months ago, Kendra announced, bursting into my apartment. Before any of this started, my friend at the restaurant confirmed it. I was still trying to contain the leak damage, my phone buzzing with reporters' calls. You think she set this up? Think? I know. Kendra tossed her phone at me. Look at her Instagram story. She's at the same cafe where you met Graham, tagged him. Great minds think alike. My hands shook as I grabbed my keys. 20 minutes later, I cornered Daisy outside her yoga studio. Surprised to see me? I asked. She adjusted her designer gym bag, unfazed. Not everyone's here to play fair, sweetie, especially not Graham. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're a pawn. Her smile was razor sharp. Graham needed a Sanderson to weaponize. You were just convenient. My phone rang. Graham's office. Again. I'll stay on as investor, he said without greeting. But you drop the Sanderson name. Completely. Your studio becomes Bradley Studios. I gripped the phone tighter. You planned this. Business is business. Your father taught me that. A pause. Clock's ticking, Vienna. What's worth more, your name or your dreams? That night, I couldn't sleep. While reorganizing my art supplies, an old book of my mother's fell open. A yellowed letter fluttered out, dated 12 years ago. Dear Miss Sanderson, we are pleased to offer you a full scholarship to the Paris Academy of Arts. I'd never seen this letter before, never even knew I'd been accepted. My phone lit up with a text from Derek. Dad's calling an emergency board meeting tomorrow. Whatever you're going to do it fast. The letter crumpled in my fist. More lies, more manipulation. How deep did this betrayal go? I slammed the scholarship letter on my mother's kitchen counter. When were you going to tell me? She stared at it, color draining from her face. Where did you 12 years, Mom. Paris, a full ride. My voice cracked. Did you even fight for me? He wouldn't let me send it. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Said you had no future in art. I let him. I pulled out my phone, hands trembling with rage, opened Instagram Live. This is Vienna, and I'm done being silent. I held up the letter. Bradley Studios launches next month. Our first exhibition? Family Ties, exploring fame, favoritism, and the price of silence. Within hours, Derek posted a blog about toxic nepotism in family businesses. The comments filled with speculation. The story was spreading. Pablo called immediately. Use my gallery space. No strings. This is the kind of truth art needs to tell. That evening, Derek showed up at my studio, face ashen. The SEC is investigating Dad. Something about investor retaliation. Graham's name keeps coming up. Not my problem. Vienna, listen. He grabbed my arm. You've poked the bear, and maybe this time he'll bite back. Graham's been building a case against Dad for years. You're just his match to light the fuse. At least someone believed in me. Believed in you? Derek laughed bitterly. Graham's weaponizing your talent like Dad weaponized mine. A courier appeared at the door. Official-looking envelope. What is it? Derek asked as I tore it open. My hands shook. A subpoena. I'm being called to testify in an SEC investigation. Jesus Vienna. Derek sank into a chair. What have we done? All studio funding is frozen, I told Kendra as she paced my apartment. The SEC doesn't mess around. Look at this. She thrust her laptop at me. Documents showing my father's companies routing money through shell corporations. Graham knew. He's been gathering evidence for years. My phone lit up. Derek. We've both been pawns, he said, voice shaking. Dad's empire, my company, your studio. Graham played us all. Graham's call came an hour later. Issue a public statement supporting me, he demanded, or I'll drop you from every contract. Your choice. No, my voice was steady. I'm done being anyone's puppet. The story broke that evening. Family empire splits, art, tech, and corporate rivalry exposed. My phone exploded with notifications. Pablo burst into my studio, waving a magazine. You're in. Emerging Voices exhibition. Your work alone got you this. No names, no connections. Graham won't like that. Screw Graham. Pablo grabbed my hands. This is your moment, your truth. I was cleaning brushes when I found the note, slipped under my door. Get out before your art becomes your cage. Could be anyone, Kendra said when I showed her. You've rattled a lot of cages. Maybe. I stared at my latest piece, a shattered mirror installation reflecting fractured images of power and betrayal. But I'm done running. My phone buzzed, a text from my mother. Your father's being forced to resign. Board meeting tomorrow. Another message followed from an unknown number. You think you've won? The game's just beginning. I looked at my reflection in the studio window, fragmented by raindrops. The woman staring back wasn't the same one who'd walked into that family dinner months ago. She had sharper edges now, and she wasn't afraid to cut. Opening night. The gallery buzzed with critics, collectors, and controversy. My shattered mirror installations reflected hundreds of faces, each telling their own version of my story. Major solo show offer, Pablo whispered, pulling me aside. But they want you to retract the public statements. Clean up the family drama. No, I handed him my champagne. I'd rather show anonymously than show dishonestly. My mother appeared, looking smaller than I remembered. Vienna, please, can we talk? We stepped into the back room, surrounded by wrapped canvases. I'm sorry, she said, for everything, for being silent when you needed me to scream. Words after years of silence are just echoes of excuses, Mom. A commotion outside drew us back to the gallery. An older man in a baseball cap was studying my centerpiece, the scholarship letter, embedded in fractured glass. Even in disguise, I recognized my father's stance. Enjoying the show? I asked, approaching him. He didn't turn, just stared at his reflection, multiplied and distorted in the broken mirrors. You won, he said quietly. The board voted me out this morning. This wasn't about winning. Then what was it about? Being seen. My voice cracked. Just once, being seen. He nodded slowly, then walked away without another word. The cap pulled low over his eyes, hiding whatever truth might have lived there. That night, I uploaded my final piece to the exhibition's online gallery, a fragmented mirror sculpture titled Father's Reflection, with copies of the scholarship letter visible in every shard. My phone lit up immediately. Messages from Derek, my mother, even Graham. I turned it off. Some reflections are better left unexamined. The autumn light streams through my new studio windows, smaller than Graham's vision, but entirely mine. Crowdfunded by art lovers who believed in the work, not the drama. My phone buzzes with a text from Pablo about next week's showcase. The door chimes. Derek walks in, looking different in casual clothes. More human somehow. He studies my latest piece. A phoenix rising from shattered mirrors. Running a nonprofit now, he says, hands in pockets. Teaching kids business ethics, if you can believe it. Redemption looks good on you. Maybe we both needed to blow up to rebuild. He touches the canvas gently. Your work's getting noticed, for the right reasons now. Graham called again, I tell him, wanted to reconnect. And I declined. Aligning with someone else's war only makes you their soldier. Derek nods, understanding in his eyes. Dad asks about you, in his own way. Tell him my next exhibition opens Friday. I dip a brush in crimson paint. He knows where to find me. The afternoon light catches the mirrors, sending fractured rainbows across my workspace. Each shard reflects a different piece of who I've become. Artist, daughter, sister, survivor. Stay for coffee? I ask Derek. Love to. As we sit among my canvases, I realize revenge gave me a voice, but it didn't grant peace. Peace came from building something true from the ashes of what burned. My father once said I was a dreamer, not a doer. But dreams, mine especially, don't die. They sharpen their teeth. And sometimes they teach you how to smile again, scars and all,